The building blocks of vision are light-sensitive proteins called photoreceptors. With these proteins, primitive unicellular organisms were able to distinguish light from dark and move accordingly. Very useful if you run on photosynthesis. Once cells group themselves forming tissues, specialized photosensitive cells appeared. Together, these cells built eyespots. This is a very primitive eye that still can only tell light from dark. The eye spot in this piece of tissue is almost flat and it's connected to a nervous system. This is approximately what you will see with one of these eye spots. Not really impressive, but it is a start. By the way, that small shadow you see comes from the predator being in between the light source and the eye. But what happens if we dent the eye spot? This is a major improvement. Suddenly, you can tell where the light comes from. So, an obvious way to improve the precision of the eye is to close the indentation. The ability to tell where the light comes from increases. However, as you are closing the indentation, the amount of light that arrives to your eye is equally reduced. Our perception of the world will be darker. If we close the pupil a little bit more, something unexpected happens. An inverted noisy image of our predator appears in the back of our eye. Our eye spot has turned into a pinhole camera. So now we are able to gather images of our surroundings. In a pinhole camera, everything is in focus. In return, the image is dark and noisy and needs a lot of environmental light to be formed. Another interesting issue is that the image formed in the retina is inverted. Why? Well, because photons travel following straight lines. So when they manage to get into the eye through the pupil, they arrive to, let's say, the opposite place they came from. So in the retina, up is down and left is right. The brain, if there is a complex enough one, will lately turn the image upside down. In the next evolutionary step, the eye will be closed with a transparent membrane that will become the cornea with time. Now, the medium within the eye is separated from the environment and the retina is protected. Both the primitive cornea and the humor maintain the spherical shape of the eye, but they do not significantly affect the ability to capture images. In a major step, the first lens within the eye appears. The lens allows the formation of a clearer image with the same amount of environmental light. Now the world has become much brighter and the noise has disappeared. But there is an important detail to have in mind. For our vision to be clear, this lens has to form the image exactly on the retina. Otherwise, the image will be blurred. What determines the position of the image with respect to the retina is just the position of the predator with respect to our eye. As a result, there is a sphere of in-focus environment around us. The rest of the world is out of focus and therefore blurred. In this last stage, a lot of stuff happens. The cornea will develop a bump forming an extra lens. Actually, the lens, because the cornea accounts for approximately 2/3 of the eye total optical power. The lens will undergo an interesting change itself. A group of muscles will allow the lens to change its shape, letting the eye change its focal distance. Thanks to this amazing piece of machinery, the eye will be able to focus on both distant and close objects. The other important device that will appear at this stage is the iris. So far, light came into the eye through the pupil. The pupil had a fixed diameter. This way, your eye would be blind in a dark environment or blinded because of an excess of light. The iris acts as a diaphragm, allowing you to close or open the pupil and therefore to improve your vision and focus in different light conditions. And this is roughly how your eyes, and therefore your vision, have evolved over millions of years. This has happened independently between 50 to 100 times, giving all different kinds of vision to a lot of different animals. Some of them are sensitive to the ultraviolet radiation, and some of them to the infrared. Some of them perceive motion. It looks like nature wants us to see the world around. It must be worth it.